Hello, we have here 273 Buddie. This is a 3-bedroom home with a 2-car garage and full basement. Home is on a corner lot and has a rather unusual access here, so you can enter the home either through one of the bedrooms, which we'll see in a minute, or through the front door, or around to the rear. So there is a little bit of a rear deck here, as you can see. We also have a door to the garage that's open to the other side. Home is covered in vinyl siding and a 3-tab shingle roof. Looks to be in good condition. We come around. So the yard, because it's a corner lot, there isn't much of a yard to the rear. However, there's a good sized and well shaded side yard here. And then we have the access to the garage back this way. Although it's probably just as convenient to use the main garage door. I'll show you that here in a minute. Windows look like they've all been updated. Double pane windows. Coming inside, we have a living room. Vinyl plank flooring in here. Looking through into the kitchen, similar flooring, newer cabinets, granite countertops. This is an eat-in kitchen, pretty good sized. And there's space for a refrigerator next to the stove. As I mentioned, we have 3 bedrooms. This first one's a little unusual, so I'll show you what we have here, why this box is a box. So you can see there's a little shelf there. That could probably be removed if so desired. When we look back into the living room, it appears that was put there as a place to have a recessed DVD player, things like that. Now that we don't use DVD players and such so much, I'm not sure if it's something that a new owner would be really wanting to keep. It would be a really straightforward job to have that removed, though. This is a 2nd bedroom, which is a fairly good size for a smaller home. Does have a larger closet. And no ceiling light in this room, as is typical of this era. We have the 3rd bedroom here. So this probably, because it has the extra door, would be a really good office room. Full bathroom. Tiled tub surround. Toilet and vanity. Looking back through to the kitchen. You can see we have this little porch out here, which we looked at from the other end earlier. Or we looked at from both ends even. And then coming downstairs is a full finished basement. So this is poured concrete, not cinder block, which is good. There is one thing down here I want to point out. It's a little bit unusual and people get confused by. So this house has a sump pump, which is not necessarily just for draining water that could come in through the basement. In fact, this was built for a different purpose. This sump pump here is connected to the floor drain. You see, back when this neighborhood was built, this was unincorporated before it became part of Hazelwood. And as such, a lot of these homes down here, let me turn on more lighting here, there we go, had a septic tank. So you see on a septic tank, you have to have the pipe exiting from a higher position so that it can drain out and the waste can fall into the tank itself. You wouldn't have a septic tank down on the floor because then you have to dig through even more dirt to get down to it. Now, as a result of that, if you wanted to have a washing machine down here, really the only way you could drain it would either be to have it tap in way up here on this line, which would mean having a really high hose and trap, and that's not usually liked by the code inspectors either, or to have it drain into the sump pump, and then the sump pump pumps it up and out. So that's one way that can be done like that. So you can have the sump pump, which pumps that water up into, it can either work as a standard sump pump or as a drain pump for the basement plumbing, if that makes sense. Looking around here, you can see there is some scope for finishing the half of the basement, I'd say anyway. And then we have the usual gas furnace with air conditioner, coil, and water heater. I showed you the laundry connections because we were just looking at that. And then here we have the fuse box, or circuit breaker. I call them fuse boxes even though they're not. And that was actually inspected by the electrical department. Always something worth checking out. Make sure that inspections were done. And I think that concludes my video here of this property. Please remember to like and subscribe, and look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you.